Hey guys, this is Nady with Sparq City, and I'm really excited today to be interviewing my brother Christopher, who is a drummer here in Naples, Florida, and we want to talk to you guys about his new drum room, but we're going to talk a little bit about lighting and photography and videography as well, so it's kind of a combo video, which I'm really excited to bring to you. So if you're interested in knowing how to create a small space, I mean, it could be a large space too, but if you're interested in seeing how you can arrange a small space to look amazing in video or in photography on a budget, this is your video, so keep watching. All right, so obviously I know that you've been playing drums for a really long time.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
It's pretty cool to see you go into doing videos on YouTube, which is, I think, a new field for you.
Yeah, I started that I did my first ever drum cover, I think it was like on my birthday in 2014. So like November of 2014.
So we're in 2017, so 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I, little by little, just would start putting things here and there. I knew I wanted to do it. Actually, before that video, that was like November or so of 2014. I knew like in the summer of 2014 that I wanted to do YouTube covers. Mm-hmm. And because I was always on YouTube, still always am on YouTube. And I wanted to do covers, and so I finally did that one. Had no idea what I was doing.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, Nothing Compares by Freddie Rodriguez.
Okay.
Still on my YouTube channel. And so I had no idea what I was doing, but I ended up getting on Amazon like a condenser microphone for the iPhone 4S, and because I didn't have anything good enough, didn't want to spend a lot of money. It was like $15. And so I bought it, put it on I put it on my iPad for that video. So I used the video from that iPad and that little condenser microphone, which is laying around here. I still have it.
That might be the one I was asking you about.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a Tascam. And so I put that on there. I did it, and I did it.
Did it improve the audio from?
Oh yeah, it definitely improved the audio for sure. And then that was at my parents' house, or our parents' house, and so in the garage. And then I kind of cleaned up that room a little bit. I actually used I
remember you had some like covers on the wall.
Yep, I had a blanket. Is it paisley? like a paisley blanket or something like that on the back. I liked it. I think it still looks pretty cool. But anyways, whatever.
I know exactly. The video's still on YouTube.
Yeah,
go
it's
check
still
it
there.
out.
Just go on my channel.
Link it. I'll link it.
It's really cool. Are we gonna put this on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be right up here. So, anyways, I put that on there. It was just a one mic from the front, because I had looked on YouTube just how to do a drum cover. They're like, okay, you could do it with one mic. And then I did it. I put it on there. I actually used my movie maker on my computer.
Windows.
Yeah, on Windows. And put it together. That video took me ages to do, to actually put together. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of a little story of how I actually got started. And then after that, I just started recording everything that I could do. I was always on YouTube just trying to figure out every little detail that I possibly can learn. I was always trying to learn, always trying to look at on the internet different articles on how to just how to connect cables to make the audio in sync with the video, and it be better audio, and just like the whole thing. It's all very confusing, but little by little I started literally step by step getting better and better, and figuring out how to do cables and all that stuff, put cables in video and all that stuff, to actually be halfway decent. And then I then maybe I think it was in 2016. No, in 2015 I did a couple covers that like Israel and one with Planet
Are
Shakers.
these that you were on the drum at the house, or were these like you were playing out in a band?
Some of them were playing out in the band, but the actual covers I did here. And then, so I did those, and those, came out pretty well. But I said, once again, I didn't really, I got the other Tascam field recorder.
The one that I okay.
With the 2 condenser mics, and and then it has 2 XLR inputs, and then I put from my board a kick into the 1 XLR input, and then the toms and snare in the other from a board into the other input, and then from the condenser microphones on that field recorder, I would put it on an overhead.
Which, side note, we could have totally used the Tascam to get the audio for this video.
Yeah, we could have.
But it probably sounds good anyway, but talk about DIY, we're just recording it on our phones.
Yeah, the audio. And I have a backup. And so I did that because I had seen another drummer. He used the Zoom H4n, which the Tascam DR40 is the one that I used.
It's a really good.
It's really good. I absolutely love it. I've actually recorded full sets of the band just directly from the mixing board onto there, and some actually a couple of my I think 1 or 2 of my videos are from that, directly from that, nothing else, which is pretty cool. Which I will link the video, or she will link the video here.
It's like this little recording device. It's probably like the size of the iPhone, plus if you have it. But it's not very big, but it has these like 2 little, it's kind of like omnidirectional.
Yeah, they have the XY pattern and the AB pattern on it for to use. Anyway, so I used that, and that was good. Like, it worked for what I needed it at the time, where I was at that time, and I liked it a lot. I had to learn that thing. Like, there's so many little settings that you had to play with just to get a decent sound. But it worked for what I needed. So I did a couple of them like that. And then that was in 2015. Then,
so if you see something a little different, we had some hiccups along the line, so we had to kind of rearrange. So it might look different, and if this goes wrong, you might be seeing us from a GoPro Hero 3 as our backup.
Side note, I got this GoPro Hero 3 on Craigslist for $100 with a 32 gig memory card, so
nice.
Pretty good deal there. In 2016, I bought an iRig 2, which is super great, which we can do a side note on this right now, kind of like a sidetrack here. So, a tangent, I guess, as you would say. And I bought an iRig 2, which you can basically connect from any board or any output of a line output into your iRig 2. And then from the iRig 2 can go right into your phone, right into the phone jack.
iRigs are actually meant for guitars.
Yes.
But these are kind of hacks that you can do to make it work for something else to get better audio.
Yep. So a lot of people, a lot of people ask me, hey, what's that clicking noise in your videos? Well, that's because that's the track with the click or the metronome keeping time to play with that track, and it's coming from my in-ear feed. So I'm literally getting that line from my in-ear feed. I split the signal and I send one to my headphones, and then one goes right into the iRig 2, and then from the iRig 2 right into the phone, which I can just record the video with that audio instead of using the audio, obviously, from the mic.
It kind of puts everything in one. You don't have to worry about it.
Puts everything in one. We'll put an example of that here.
You like pointing.
I do. A lot of people do it on YouTube, so it's my first time doing it. And so, so then I got the iRig 2. So a lot of my videos, there's quite a few of my videos that you'll see on my YouTube channel that are, I've either done it one of two ways. I've done it with the camera on the phone connected with the iRig 2. And also another way I've done it is I connect the audio into the iRig 2 into the phone and use the voice recorder, and then I'll use my GoPro as the video source, and then I sync them later. And so that's how I've done a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. That was a lot of 2016 and beginning of 2017. And then I went into... and then that's when kind of things started like taking, getting better. And I was like, I really want to like dive deeper into doing more videos. And so I was like, all right, well, I need to spend money, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get a Mac. So with the Mac, you can get the iMovie, you can get the GarageBand, and then that way you don't have to spend extra money on all the software. So for me, that's getting started. That's perfect. And literally, right away, I went into like trying to figure out how I can do the iMovie, just playing around with it, playing around with GarageBand, setting up all the microphones. The one thing for drummers you'll need is an interface, and an audio interface, which you can get for cheap on Amazon. You can get a Behringer one with 4 channels or so.
But you don't use that.
I use the interface, yes.
No, not that brand though.
No, I don't use the Behringer one. No, I use a PreSonus one, but that's the one that my dad had, so I didn't have to buy one.
The one he has, my husband has it for his piano stuff, and it's really, really good because you can add on to it.
Yep.
So it's kind of really cool, and it comes with what do you call those? The software?
Yeah, it comes with Studio One, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the artist version, but you can do a lot, and it's kind of one of those drag and click ones. It's easier than a lot of the other ones, but we can get here.
Yeah. And so, so that's the one I use, the PreSonus. But if you're looking for a cheap route, on Amazon or even Guitar Center or something, I believe it's $99. That was when I checked last. I haven't checked in a long time. But I would say it's a very good deal. It's 4 inputs on that one, which for a drummer is, your kick, snare, and 2 overheads would be more than enough to record your drums, decently and get a really nice sound. Anyways, so I connected the audio interface. I connected everything, put everything in. And I was like, okay, I want to do a good cover of a good song, and I don't know which one it is. So then I found Tu Eres Rey from Barak and Christine de Clario, and I really, the intro of that song, it's in the intro, it's one time in, I believe, one of the verses, and then it's in the outro, that I really like the groove of it. I hadn't really heard of it before, or heard it before any other drummer playing it. And then I looked on YouTube and saw that nobody had actually done a cover it or did a tutorial of it. So I'm like, this is the song. I was like, I think this is a great song to do. So I did it, and it went really, really well. And so that video is kind of like what really gave me the big boost to really continue, moving with that. I got a bunch of views on that. I got a bunch of subscribers from that video. Then I did another one. But after that first video, which I posted in July of 2017, is when Sparq happened. Sparq happened in August of 2017. And so there I had the chance to talk to Chrissy from DeMarco Films. Mm-hmm. Okay, DeMarco Films. I ran with what she told me, not knowing anything about videos, so it was I did what I could, to the best of my abilities, because I'm not, I can't do any of this stuff that well. But, I literally was learning GarageBand. I was learning iMovie. I was learning placement of the camera. I was learning placement of all the lights. And asking all these questions that I possibly can to Nady and to Chrissy at the time when she was there. I just kind of did with whatever little bit I could get. I tried to implement it in my videos. And then that's kind of in my last video that I put in, I thought I did halfway decent. I started playing around with moving the drums in different ways to use the daylight from outside. And then I did an intro and an outro, and it came out great for the video. And then the next day I came and I was like, okay, it's around the same time. Let me try to make everything kind of equal. And I put it in, and it it was just too much light, and it just made the video horrible, which you can see on my YouTube channel as well.
It's one of his latest videos.
Yeah, it's my last video I think I put up. And so it was just bad. So then that was kind of like the last video I had, and then Sarah, my lovely wife Sarah, was so nice enough to talk to Nady and ask her to, help out with the, how to make the video look better. And obviously, because I'm not that good at it.
I am by far not considered a videographer, but I like to take videos, and I like to make sure that they come out right, and so I was just kind of trying to share a little bit of what I had. I started asking you a couple days before, like, if the setup you had currently, if that was what you were going to stay with, which was super important if I was going to do anything. So it wasn't that I was trying to be a surprise or anything. It was just I wanted to kind of feel you out, because he might have not dared to ask me, but I didn't dare intrude either, because I didn't want you to feel like, oh, I'm trying to tell you what to do, And so I think it's really cool to see how you had support from your wife. I think it's really important to have support from your spouse or from friends or from anyone, just to help push you in that direction, which I think is amazing, because I think that when we see what we did here, which I'll explain, compared to what he had, the last, couple years, it's going to be such a drastic difference.
Which I want to put something in there. Having friends that like support you in whatever it is, either your instrument or your craft, whatever your craft is. It's cool when you discuss these things with your friends, and more in specific, friends that have no idea what you're talking about. I'll tell you why. Because it's a random input, but I'll tell you why. I have my coworker. I'm always talking to him about everything and anything, but this in particular, when I talk about this, he'll ask me questions that helps me understand. Because to me, it's like, oh yeah, that's I get it, but they don't. So they ask questions, and it helps you, it's a light bulb in your head that it's like, oh man, that's what these people are looking at. Or, oh man, I didn't think about that. Let me work on that, And so I want to...
A different perspective.
It's a different perspective of whatever your craft is or whatever you're doing. And actually, a lot of times can be beneficial. Sometimes they're stupid questions, but
sometimes it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you go back and you start thinking, it's like, oh, I didn't see it that way, and there might be a bigger majority of people looking at it the way they're looking at it than the way I'm looking at it. So you kind of try to meet in the middle to make those changes, which I think is super cool. But basically, what you'll kind of be seeing clips here and there, but you can kind of see, you should be able to see, basically what's lighting these drums are 3 shop lights. Okay?
Which you can actually probably see.
Yes, you can see it here actually. So I will direct myself here. So these are shop lights. They're, between $6 and $10. You can get them at Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, wherever.
I specifically got mine at
Walmart, Target. You can get them in a lot of places. You could probably ask your neighbor if they have these laying around.
I found some in my dad's garage.
Exactly.
One of these is from my dad's garage.
Put a post out like, hey, I'm looking for shop lights if you got any laying around. I brought 2 from my house. I've been laying around for like a couple years. I'm like, I'm not using them. Let me just take them so that I can try to work with them. So besides them being affordable to buy, there might be people willing to give you some. So anyway, right here, I only have 3 lights. I think what cost the most, which we discussed, was the light bulbs, because you don't want just traditional soft light or soft light or warm. You want to stay away from that when you're talking about like photography and videography. You want to try to go as much daylight as possible. I mean, when you take a picture outdoors and it's like cloudy or you're in the shade, it always comes out really beautiful. So you're trying to emulate that kind of lighting. When you're doing warm and soft lights that are more yellow in color, it's a lot harder to balance out. And so, you don't want to go through that hassle with editing, all of that. So daylight balanced are really, really good. So that's basically all that's right here lighting this whole thing. And you're going to see a complete shift in the way the video looks. And placement is super important too, right? So we put him like right in front of him, facing down. We diffused it. This is parchment paper, okay? And parchment paper is great because it's high heat. It's meant for the oven. Yeah, it's meant for the oven. So they're not going to catch fire. And besides that, some of these are LED lights and some of them are CFL lights. So they're not going to get hot. So basically, we made a bar, which I think you can see it here too, but if not, we'll insert a clip. But we made a bar that we screwed into the ceiling with some drywall anchors, okay, that I think they hold like 80 pounds. So we screwed it up there. We added the lights, we added a microphone, and we added the GoPro.
Which I will insert. This bar thing that we screwed up to the ceiling cost a total of $1.89.
$1.
Okay.
89. So under $2.
Under $2. So you just cut it up. I'm sure somebody has a tool that you can use to cut it. We literally cut it with a handsaw because we didn't have a machine.
Right.
Thank you, Josue. And then on top of that, we used an old. Okay, I don't know why this is still sitting in the garage, but an old boom stand that broke. I decided to not throw it away for whatever reason because I figured we'd use it one day, and we have officially used it. I am so happy because of that. So it's there. You can see a shot of it later.
You can see it. And so basically that microphone is what... Oh, that was that one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. We could still do this one.
Yeah.
So this microphone is what's getting, the cymbals and all of that sound. But it was important to get it out of the video area so that it wasn't like a distraction, or we had before, actually, you could see it in one of your other videos, you had a boom pole, which is totally fine. You see boom poles everywhere. But I think because the room is actually kind of smaller in size for the amount of stuff, drums are big, and then there's actually 2 sets of drums in here because he gives lessons. So we were trying to, consolidate all of that. So that actually really helped a lot to be able to put it up there. So you got that there, and then you can't see it, I don't think, too much, but there's actually another little stick here where you can screw the GoPro into it so he can get like a top view. So it was really important that the lighting would work really well. So besides this lighting right here, we have another light that is to help light his bass drum or kick drum.
The kick pedal,
so that when he does the tutorial, like they can actually see what he's doing, because if there's no light there, they can't see, and that's not good. So we basically just got like a little, it looks like a little clamp lamp. I don't even know. I think that's what I'm going to call it, clamp lamp. And we just put some, paper, parchment paper around that to just diffuse it a little bit, and it's just facing the drums. There's nothing covering it, nothing. It's just a bare bulb with some parchment paper. So basically that's like the main lighting. But, besides lighting, you want the room to look cool.
You actually were like, hey, sit down and let's talk through this. Because this is how we're going to be able to get somewhere.
Right.
So that's kind of how that started.
You had seen something you liked.
Yeah, so she asked me if I had, seen something on YouTube or whatever that I liked. Is there something in particular I liked? And I do have a couple drummers that I actually like the way they do their lighting and whatnot. Orlando Drummer being one of them. So I showed her that one, and I showed her Mike Johnston's page as well on Instagram. And so that's kind of what kind of really started getting the ball rolling. And then
because before we even put these beautiful panels up, doing with what you have, that's a big kind of my motto. Not because I want it to be that way, but sometimes when you don't have money, or you don't, you got to do with what you got, and so how do you make it look better than what you initially have in front of you, right? So it's just, these walls are just gray, and you could probably see a little bit towards the back. But I was going to use...
I think you can see it
You can kind of see a little bit there. But I was just going to use a shower curtain, but it ended up not being big enough. And it looked kind of like, we're just trying to do something there. And we tried different formulas, and we'll insert a shot of that. But the lighting actually looked pretty cool. It just wasn't what I was hoping for, although it was still better than before. But the lights were higher up, so it didn't necessarily look like a studio lighting per se. Which is fine because we don't have studio lights.
But at that point, we were just trying to achieve a better light overall. And consistency.
Yes.
We were trying to make it consistent, whereas, trying to work with the daylight hours outside and whatnot. So.
Well, yeah. So I think one of the situations with the whole lighting was that there is a sliding door back here, and then there's a window right here in front of the drum. So when it's daylight, so let's see. I think that
the sun sets over here.
Sunsets over here?
Yep.
Okay.
And most of the time when I'm doing my videos,
it's sunset time.
Towards the end of the day.
So, and then if he's here during the weekend or during the day at any time and he wants to do a video, like how can we record videos that look similar or pretty much the same day or night? So we basically didn't have to worry about that because you have two panels, like two things of shading curtains. But we have these blackout, like they're like paper accordion, and literally you can get them at Home Depot or Walmart. I'm pretty sure Target has them, any of them. So literally it comes with like a little sticky thing, and you put it up, but that doesn't always work. So I just pin them up with some thumbtacks, and then it comes kind of in a bigger size, and so you cut it down to whatever you need. So that actually helped. You still kind of feel some light coming in, but it shut out enough that we can turn on these lights and it'll overpower whatever light is coming into this room. So we started with something different and it didn't work out. And then you had said that you liked these. You had seen
out of nowhere. I remember
panels.
walking in Home Depot and I saw these panels because I wanted to do it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, perfect. Like, let's look at those. Let's look online right now. See mm-hmm. if they have them. They had them, and then we were trying to see like if they had them in our area mm-hmm. and how much they cost.
These panels were a whopping $19.
4x8.
They're 4 feet wide by 8 feet tall. And we only needed 3 of them. So $60 in total for this. Like if you already have screws, you don't even need to worry about it. And this isn't even put up with anything special. All we just got was some drywall screws because they're not very heavy and they're very, very thin. It's made out of an MDF material. And we can just link that as well if you're interested in this look. But it's really, really cool. The only thing is that you see the kind of similar pattern. So if it's like a really long wall, you may not want to use this, but for the kind of thing that we were doing, you can't even tell. You're going to see the videos, you're not even going to notice. But these are really, really beautiful. They're kind of really good for the money, for mm-hmm. the time that we spent. I mean, if you think about it, how many feet is that? 4, 8, 12 feet wide yep. by 8 feet tall. We covered how much? You said 96 square feet.
12 times 8.
Right?
I think it's 96.
Well, you could check the math, but 90-something square feet coverage for $60 with minimal. You need 2 people, like 3 people would be optimal help to put these up, and it may be in an hour or less. You can do it. That's.
I mean, they're super cheap, but they're super quick to put up too.
And they're really pretty. It's not like we could have done better. Like this is really, really.
It looks really good, and like. The time you would have spent trying to do that by going and getting pallets, taking those pallets apart, throwing them on the wall, messing up your wall. These literally, if I move, I can take them with me, which is cool too.
Right. The other thing that we had to worry about was the camera update, because
I bought this camera last year for Sarah to take pictures.
It's a Canon T3.
T3, not T3i, T3.
Right.
So
and there's a big difference.
Yeah, there is a big difference. It's an old model, less functionality than the T3i and above. And so it takes great pictures, and I eventually got another lens and all that good stuff.
So we needed to update his camera, and the other situation was that on video mode we couldn't set the numbers to a custom setting.
Yeah, we couldn't do it manually.
Yeah, we couldn't do it manual. That's right. So like we couldn't change the aperture, we couldn't change like the ISO, we couldn't change nothing. Like it just read the room and just did whatever it thought. And no matter what we did, even when we updated the firmware on it, it still wouldn't do it. So we came up with the idea of trying out Magic Lantern, which is a software add-on that runs right from your SD card. So you have to go through like a little bit of jump roping to set this up, but it's not hard, and it's pretty quick.
And it's free.
And so you can look it up on Google, Magic Lantern.
Josue explained it to me. It's like it's almost like jailbreaking your phone. Like you're just able to do a little bit more with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. So if you have a new camera, you may not want to do this. That's just kind of a little side note. Because it can void your warranty, because it could glitch, who knows. But I think that with this camera, and I've never heard of, and every video I ever saw has never heard of anybody having issues with it, but that's just kind of a side note. So it runs off of your SD card, so we did it, and it totally added everything and more that we needed. So we were able to change all the settings that we needed to, which we couldn't before, and we were able to get where we needed to get with this video using with the things that we already had. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited about how the video turned out. Like, after all the testing, the day and the night come out, pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very minimal, the difference. You probably won't even notice. But I think that the final of how everything turned out, I think it exceeded my expectation of what I thought was possible in this room, just by trying it out.
Yeah, I didn't have expectations this high, so I'm pretty sure it's way higher than I ever expected.
So what would you say to someone who's looking in, trying to figure things out as well, compared to like the journey that you've had? Like, what would you tell someone?
So if I've actually had this conversation with another person before, and I used my YouTube drum cover example as kind of a life example. But so for any craft that you have, or any like goal or dream that you have, I think it's just taking that first step, and just take that first step and keep learning from those. Even if it's a small step, just take it and keep learning from it. All right, so I wrote this down. I read this in an article today, like not too long ago, and I was like, these are the words that I've been needing. And little did I know that I was going to use it in this video. But the trick is not getting worried if you don't understand it at first, or if you see others doing it better. Each small step you take is a step forward. You will learn from every new video, explanation, or article that you spend time watching or reading. And also, every time you put it into practice, it will make your personal understanding clearer and clearer until it eventually clicks. So that's kind of like my last note. Take that first step and keep learning from those small steps that you take, and you'll get somewhere.
I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. So we're here for you. We want to see you grow as we're growing, and we can't wait to see what you create. Thanks for watching.
God bless.
We did it. It didn't stop.
Thank you, GoPro.
It saved our butts.
There was no way we were going to